I'm jealous of you.
Why?
I'm jealous of you.
If there's a building, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, stainless steel, nice stuff, and you finally have the money to afford it, is it wrong for a native New Yorker to move into one of those buildings? You know what I mean? Like,
I always kind of feel powerless in New York.
I feel like I can blame the government somehow. I feel like they're to blame.
That's
somehow.
the right answer. Anyways.
Yeah.
Hi y'all, welcome back to On Our Terms. I'm your host, Ismatou, and today I'm here with Anayka She.
Hi.
As you may know, this is not a safe space. It's a brave space.
Period.
Are you ready to be brave?
I'm so ready.
Yeah, we love it. I'm excited to have you on because one of the first TikToks I saw of yours was you talking about gentrification, particularly about a pizza shop that was going out of business.
Yes, the best pizza in the world, Mike's Pizza.
Exactly. I think throughout the years, the reason why I continued following you is because I've always felt like even as you've ascended into becoming an influencer, you kind of always stayed really true to, I think, what you really originally started creating content about, which is like your community, being a native New Yorker, which are all things I relate to as a native New Yorker. I feel like a lot of these New York City influencers are just not from here.
They don't be from here.
They're just not from here. And I'm not really interested in their... And it's kind of become a thing now, like a New York City influencer. Like,
yeah.
What is
It's
that?
like a title.
Yeah, what is that? Do you, I mean, obviously, because you are...
Sure.
No,
but I feel like it's like a completely different title. Like, I feel like if you say I'm a New York City influencer, in my head, I'm thinking, what's that brand? I'm thinking Lululemon. I'm thinking Matcha. I'm thinking Greenwich Village. I'm thinking, Manhattan transplant. Like, I'm thinking of a completely separate experience than the native New Yorker who makes TikToks.
Have you ever seen that TikTok where it was this girl, she was just like, there's two different types of New York going on. Like, what the fuck is Jack's wife Frida? Have you ever seen that one?
I don't even know what Jack's right Frida is.
Yeah, no, see, that's
so maybe.
But this is what I'm talking about. There's two different types of New York going on because...
I have never even heard those words combined. Like, I literally don't even know what that is.
It's like one of the most like popular white brunch spots like
period.
Soho, Lower Manhattan. But the only reason why I know that is because white people forced me to know that because I went to boarding school. But like... If I wasn't forced into that situation, I would never know. I would stay on the side of New York that you are in.
I don't know it, and neither do my friends, so I don't know.
And that line be a little long.
That's kind of like Cat's Delicatessens. Yeah. All the white people love that place. Like, I always see it on the news, but like, I've never been.
And at work, it's like a talking point. Like, when you work in corporate, they're like, have you been to Cat's? And I'm like...
Yeah, no. I think they are pretty passionate about that and, like, bagels. Like, they love a New York bagel. Like, I found out what an everything bagel is, like, a couple of years ago. Like, I didn't even know what that was, but they're really intense.
Would love to kind of, like, get into, like, how did you start making content and, like, what made you start making TikToks?
So I was a TikTok Musical.ly hater, like everybody else in 2020. I was graduating college, and I always wanted to pursue music. So I promised myself after I graduated, I would give it a shot. So I made my first EP, and I was thinking to myself, how I'm going to promote this? It's a pandemic going on. I'm like, you know what? Let me just get on TikTok. So I started posting little singing videos, little talking videos, and honestly, my account just blew up within that first, maybe 2 or 3 months of me posting. I would show my personality. I would just talk, give my opinions, show my music, and I got a cool following from it. So that's pretty much how I started.
How did you get into music? Did you study music in college?
No, so I actually went to college for psychology. I was going to be a AA counselor. I just like being in people's business, so I thought that was gonna be a cool job, but no, like, music has always been a part of my life. I'm Panamanian, and a big part of Panamanian culture is the marching band. So when I was a little girl, I was a batutera. My dad plays the drums, my mom plays the cymbals, and my sisters play like the xylophone. So I've always been very like musically inclined, and it's always just been something I wanted to do.
You're a New York City influencer, but you mentioned that there's this weird divide. How do you feel like New York City has changed from when you were growing up?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm from Brooklyn, and I say this a lot, and I feel like people think I'm joking. I did not see any white people until I was like in college. And if I did see white people, they were a teacher.
Did you go to college in New York?
Yeah, I went to Brooklyn College.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so I really mainly only saw like white people on television, and you know, maybe in school we would have one white kid, and maybe they'd probably be like Jewish, but like I didn't see a lot of white people. And so throughout the years you progressively see more and more and more white people in neighborhoods where they typically would have never wanted to go. New buildings, new businesses, old businesses that have been there for years getting like kicked out and things like that. I think New York still has a lot of its essence, but I'm really, really afraid for when like the transplants, the gentrification will really like take the life out of New York. Like the noise, dominoes on the street, like,
And
you
it's
know,
gonna
just
become
fun
Dubai.
stuff. Please don't mention Dubai. I would never go back to
It's-
Dubai. I went to Dubai once,
But
never again.
I feel like New York is trending towards Dubai type vibes.
You
Like-
think? No,
Like it's
I don't
just
know.
getting so expensive, and it's
Okay.
like Dubai
Expats.
is full of expats, and like people the only people who move to Dubai is for work.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like that's what
I can see
these
that.
big
I can see
cities
that.
are trending towards.
I can see that.
But the thing is, honestly, I have something to confess to you. Like
Okay, I'm scared.
I'm jealous of you.
Why?
I'm jealous of you because I went to boarding school. So like
Okay.
I basically like similar to you, yes, before I entered this white New England like world, I was in the safety and comfort of black people at home. My
so
teachers,
comfortable.
my like everything black. And yes, obviously like I lived in Georgia for a little bit and I did live in a very racist town called
Period.
Kennesaw. But like I don't know, I was like 5, so like nothing. I wasn't 5, but I was like really young, so nothing really mattered, and I didn't see anyone that wasn't my family, so I didn't care. But I think for me, like that 4 years of high school just feels so formative to like growing up in New York. Like I feel like when I went to NYU for undergrad.
Nice.
And there were so many things that like kids who grew up in New York would be talking about,
yes.
and just I don't know, like Queen Center Mall, like the meetups, the different types of the Basa Basa parties.
Yo, teen pasa pasa. About that.
And I'm just like, I miss that. Like
Yes.
I'm not a part of that at all.
Yeah.
And but I feel like it's such that those 4 years is such a huge part of kind of like cementing. I don't know. Like you're still broke, obviously.
Okay.
But like I don't know, like I just feel like in high school, like you're a kid and you're still kind of like obviously you have to answer to your parents, all these things. You don't have the freedom. But there's something really cool about the community that
Sure.
exists in New York.
No, for sure. I think that's also like the conversation of like who's a New Yorker. I feel like I don't know about other places, but I think New Yorkers are very, very strict about who they consider a New Yorker. And I think for a lot of people, if you didn't go to school in New York, then you might not be a New Yorker because it's such a unique experience. And like riding the trains and things like this. So like even like Team Pasa Pasa Party, that makes me laugh. Like or like going to Atlantic Mall after school or your little green Metro card that you would get on a bus with. Like it's a very unique experience.
I feel like my New York City upbringing is kind of fragmented a little bit for that. I don't think I really felt like a New Yorker until post-college, post-graduate, like because New York City is very segregated, and I feel
Yes.
like I live in a very Afro-Caribbean neighborhood in Queens, and like our businesses are Afro-Caribbean. Like there's a huge, I feel like a network of just like people that I went to school with that is like really tight that I kind of exist outside of because like I left the community.
I see.
I kind of want you to kind of speak on that and like speak about your experience and like how integral that is to like you and like how you grow up and things like that.
Well, I feel like your experience, even though it may feel bad, I think it only feels bad because New York is kind of like a loyalist place. Like it's like you are New York to the bone. You would never catch me with no Red Sox hat or anything like that. Like it's so like that, but it could also be like to people's detriment. Like I was always the type that would be like, I would never want to leave New York. Never. Like I would go on vacation, I would do other things, but I would never live somewhere else. And I think it's really important to get other world experience because New York is the best city on earth, but I think it's so important to see how other people live. Like when I started to go to other states, it was genuinely a shell shock. Like I was like, I don't understand. What do you mean places close at 6? I'm scared. Like please. Yeah. For me personally, I I don't know, like, I feel like New York will always be a part of me. I'll always consider myself a New Yorker no matter where I go.
No, I feel you, because I was actually talking to one of my friends about this, of like being able to go to other cities. You realize how New York is actually very like a very global city. Like I feel like when you go to like an LA or Chicago, there's something very American about it. You know what I mean?
That's real.
There's,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
I
yes.
feel like there's no city, and I could be wrong, but maybe Miami, but there's still something very American.
Miami does give Hispanic very strong.
Yeah,
It does
and
give
so
that.
it's like there's something very global about New York City, which makes it very easy for us to adapt to also like the
Yeah.
different places that we travel to.
100%. I felt that way like when I found out that people were like still racist, like because it was so shocking to me because I'm from New York. I know everybody. I got friends from Bangladesh. I got Muslim friends. I got Hispanic friends. Everybody is here, and it's like, what do you mean you're scared of a certain race? Like, what is it? Like, it's so shocking that like other states are like so like dated in their thinking, and I feel like New York is very progressive. So yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah, and I mean, like, also growing up in New York too, I think one thing that shocked me about boarding school is like going back to this American thing, like this American pride. I just feel like New York is segregated. I grew up in an Afro-Caribbean neighborhood. Like, I was Jamaican for 5 years before I realized I was Guinean. And then, like...
Wasn't everybody?
You know what I mean? Like, I was from Kingston, and I just... And then... and then I went to boarding school, and, like, people were hanging American flags all over the place. And I was
100%.
like, I'm American? Like,
If
I don't know. It was a
anything,
little bit of a culture shock for
I
me.
feel like if anything, New York is almost so un-American that it's American. That I feel like, you know, obviously with Donald Trump and everything going on, it kind of blows my mind that people hate immigrants, because to me, America is immigrants. Like, everybody is from somewhere else. You know what I mean? And so even my experience growing up in Brooklyn, you know, you have multicultural day and everybody from Flatbush was Caribbean, Hispanic, so everybody had a different flag. It was very rare that somebody was just African American, like both parents were African American, or just, you know, Caucasian American. Like, it was very rare. So like, I just don't understand, like, why don't they have other races in other places?
No. And then I just remember meeting people and being like, they were like, yeah, I came from an all-white town. Like, you're the first black
I'm
person I
scared.
met. And I'm
Like,
literally
I'm
like,
scared.
what does that mean? Like,
Yeah, like,
where are you calling from? And so, but moving on to the topic of like living in other states, you told me you live in Boston.
yes, I do live in Boston
And
right
it's
now.
kind of been your dirty little secret, because I had no
Yes.
idea. I had no
We're
idea
getting
you
an
were living in...
exclusive on the pod. We're
Yes, I had no idea.
Yeah, I moved to Boston like 2 years ago. And also, I would like to highlight, a lot of these people do not practice internet safety. They will tell people where they live. People don't even know what state I lived in for the past 2 years. And guess what? You still don't know, because I'm moving in 2 weeks. You don't know where I'm going. But yeah, I lived in Boston. It was a shell shock. I was, again, one of those New Yorkers who was like, I'm never moving out of New York. I never want to leave. But even though Boston is not for me, I'm really glad that I got the experience of living somewhere else, because I feel like it teaches you things, it opens your eyes, and when you're in a different city, you learn more about yourself. So
I can honestly say Boston is racist as hell.
you know
I
what's
was
so funny? Every time I tell somebody I live in Boston, I'm like, oh, it's just white people. Oh my God, to be honest, I only been to one town that gave me like Get Out. Like, Get Out vibes. I was like, no, it's giving kind of racist over here. But besides that, I feel like I've had a generally good experience in Boston.
The thing is, like, I have met people, like, I actually have a lot of black friends that live in Boston, funny enough. But, like, I've always, I don't know why, I don't know if this is because of New England, but, like, Boston has always been to me, like, the Atlanta for white people. Like,
that lines up.
Like,
that makes sense.
that is their Atlanta. Like, you
No, they love it there.
especially at work, you'll be talking to, like, the average 20-something-year-old white woman. They're like, I'm going to Boston for the weekend. And I'm like, why? It's their Atlanta.
It's their Atlanta. No, that makes sense. To me, I feel like Boston, and I try to explain this to people, Boston is like if a college student was given an assignment to make the perfect city in a shoebox, but it has none of the actual essence of a city. Like, it has the big buildings, it has highways, it has lights, things stay open kind of late, but like the vivacious energy of New York, of people, of community, I feel like you don't find that so much, even in parties. Like, people don't dance, like, people don't move, like, it's, you know, and that's okay for Boston.
It's so, and it's actually, like, I didn't realize this, but it's, like, really core to their culture, too. Like, I don't know if you, like, Cleve was mentioning before this, like there's a Chaperone song, like a Renee rap song, where
Yes,
they're like
everybody
talking about
talks
Boston.
about. I think people have to go to Boston to find themselves. I think that's actually true. Like you don't know who you are until you're in the middle of Boston. You know, like yeah.
So transitioning into New York City and how it's changed, what was the first time you noticed your neighborhood / New York City changing?
Well, I feel like those like fancy buildings have been being built for like at least the last like 7 to 10 years. So I remember the first one on my block in Brooklyn where my family still lives. I remember looking at the sign outside because you know how sometimes they have the like little bio for the apartment, everything it has. And mind you, I grew up 24 years in the same 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with me and my 3 other siblings, my 2 parents. This apartment was like, it has a pool, it has a rooftop, it has an indoor garage, it has a golf, it had all these things that at the time were so unfathomable to me. And it was right across the street. And the rent, it was like $4,000. And at the time, that was like, is there a billionaire living in this building? What the heck you mean the rent is $4,000 and you're paying for it? So for me, that was the first eye opener. And then when I started seeing white people on the block, I was like, whoa, what's going on around here? It's not that they weren't welcome, it was just a shock.
No, I think for me, it was like when I was coming back from boarding school on the breaks, Jamaica Ave was rapidly changing. Like I saw them put in a Chipotle, a Starbucks.
That's the sign.
The drug dealers weren't there anymore. Not that I knew where they
Yes.
were. I just, they weren't there. The dollar van stops were moving further and further away from like the usual stops. And I was like, and then I started seeing these like
High rise?
ridiculous, like same to you, like ridiculous buildings go up. And I was like, this is so out of place because in Queens, like a lot of it's like 2-family, like multifamily homes. So like to see a huge building like that in Queens is like, it's almost, it's very jarring, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't really know the word gentrification. Like, maybe I've heard of it. That's when it started, like, I was like, oh, there's something weird going on here. And I'm seeing white people, like, pop up here and there. I kind of want to go back to what you were talking about in terms of the building with the amenities. Because, like, have you lived in a building, like a gentrification building?
So I live in one now in Boston, and it's a very, you know, it was a very unique experience. I feel like for me, I maybe have a different experience than other influencers or something where I was not at all rich, like not even close to rich, you know? So it's like, I'm very lucky, very blessed that, you know, my life has led me to like be able to afford things like that. It's a crazy way to live, you know? There's like a package room that has lasers. If you pick up the wrong laser, there's a golf simulator, a pool, office, work from home. But there's so much, and I'm very grateful that I can afford it. But I understand that like people who maybe are native, who are from here, they're probably looking at this building like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, but I think it's also so interesting because you see all of these amenities, and like I remember like before when I was like living at home in Queens, I was so excited to kind of move into these buildings because it also kind of signifies
like everybody is,
and it's like it signifies something. But then you get to these buildings and like they're so stingy with these amenities, like the amenity fees.
Don't get me
slapping
started.
you in the face. They're so carceral with how you use these amenities. Like 2 hours, or they're gonna charge you $200.
I literally just started like an apartment series. So me and my best friend were moving at the same time and we want to live near each other. So we've been touring a lot of apartments and I've been showing people like how much it is, the amount. And it's like sometimes America just like makes me so sick when I think about other countries. Like they want to take every dollar from you. Like it makes no sense to charge amenity fees for a building that I live in. And it's like, I'm not paying for a service, I'm entering a room. Like why am I paying monthly to go into the gym or something like that?
No,
like,
literally. So which is why I always negotiate and get my amenities free because the fuck.
oh, period. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yes, you can.
I didn't even know you could negotiate.
You always negotiate and you get your amenities free because what the fuck? I'm not paying for that.
No, and that's real. But also having the experience of living in one of these like gentrification buildings, these like very elaborate luxury, which that's another conversation because a lot of these buildings just say luxury and don't be given luxury.
It's not.
But I feel like living in it, yes, at first it's like, wow, it's so crazy. You almost feel out of place, but then you kind of realize that a lot of these buildings are very soulless. Like it has no character, and a lot of the apartments are just a carbon copy of the next apartment. Like no life, stainless steel, white walls, gray appliances. I'm tired. Give me some color, something.
No character.
The hallways in this building, did you see them? It looks like
Uh-huh.
a mental asylum.
A jail. A jail.
Also, like the way that they build is not even functional. Like it's like, why are you?
I just don't
why
understand.
would anybody build an apartment
Yes.
with no closets?
Oh my God. Like it's literally scaring me.
Why would you do that?
I don't know who the designers are of these buildings, but they're gonna answer for their crimes.
And then another thing too, realtors, you guys putting in an IKEA closet doesn't make up for the fact that the apartment doesn't have any closets. And like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, it is ridiculous.
Looking for an apartment in New York, sometimes I'm like, this is crazy.
And the thing that makes me so mad about, because, you know, obviously the ongoing joke is that, oh my God, New Yorkers live in a shoebox and pay $30 billion. And it's like, no. The reason why people think that is because people who are not from here will move here and move into and accept these super tiny, ridiculous apartments for these prices. These greedy landlords are like, oh my God, great. I'll just keep raising and raising the rent. If you go to Brooklyn, a lot of those like old classic historic buildings, big. You're getting
the
actual
pre-war
livable.
buildings.
These apartments, like when I was searching again, what do you mean the room is 6x6? I'm scared. What are you talking about? Like, can I run a little bit in the house? Like, it's so weird.
No, they're crazy. I'm so sorry. Realtors of New York, you're insane.
Yeah.
And you will pay for your crimes.
No, they will.
So on the topic of the G word, the gentrification discourse online and in real life is so circular. Like I feel like we go like gentrification is bad. Oh my God. Da, 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 da. We
Let
just come
people
back and we
enjoy
say,
things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like where am I supposed to live?
Yes,
and then we're back.
yes.
Like, gentrification is bad, and we do it all over again. And I feel like we've lost the plot. I guess in your perspective, what do you feel like is the problem with gentrification?
I think the problem is that people are coming from different places with different cultural norms and different understanding of community, and they come to New York and they're not willing to immerse themselves in the New York experience and what it means. Like, you know, I seen a video of a girl the other day who was upset that there was a parade going on below her window. You know what I mean? Like, you paid to live here. New York is noise. I don't understand coming to New York and being like, it's too loud.
Yeah.
The trains are dirty. That's it. That's what you paid for. That's what it is here, you know?
No, I feel you. I feel
think
like
that's
it's
it.
the coming into the culture.
And
like
demanding change.
Yeah, and then changing it, trying to change it when it's like, actually, no, this whole city is like the noise complaints, I think is the craziest part.
And I have an unpopular opinion. And I could be biased because I was born and raised in New York. It's something my mom used to always say when I was a little kid. If you're tired, you're going to go to sleep. I don't understand when people are like, oh my God, unless you have a baby, unless you have a literal baby and the baby is sleeping, your neighbor playing some music. I'm not talking like boom, boom, boom loud or somebody downstairs. If you are tired, you're going to put your head down and go to sleep. Like, I don't understand when people are like, oh, I have to sleep in pin drop silence. And no, you don't. No, you don't.
I do think there's like a class aspect to it as well. Like, I just felt like if you are really tired, you will go to bed.
I promise you, I've slept in parties as a child. Like, I will go to sleep if I need to go to sleep.
I grew up on a block, 7 Jamaicans on our block. The
Loud.
summer,
Loud.
it's a rotation. They are throwing parties in a rotation. Like, you just learn to go to sleep with noise.
Yes.
And it's fine.
There's an article in the Atlantic called "Why Do Rich People Love Quiet." You're right on the money here.
Yeah.
As a New Yorker and as a city girl, a true city girl, for me, the exact opposite is scary to me. I really don't like the suburbs. I don't like these ultra quiet, nobody's on the street, someone's gonna kill me. Like, I don't like that. Like, I love to see people outside. I love to see people sitting in front of their building. I have witnesses in case there's something wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
People love to associate, like, Black people hanging out outside, you know, loitering,
course.
whatever, as, like, that's what makes a neighborhood dangerous. But actually, like, if you really think about it,
community.
you know those, like really crazy, twisted murder stories that happen? They don't happen in New York. Like, they're not happening in New York. They're happening in Oklahoma.
Where nobody's on the street to hear you scream.
I just want to put that out there. And you could do with it with what you want.
Now,
but
don't get me wrong. They do murder in New York.
They do. No, they do.
That wrong.
Yeah.
They do murder and rob. But at least someone will see you if you're getting robbed.
Yeah, no,
you know?
someone will see you. And they might not do anything about it, but like...
Maybe they will.
Yeah, me and Khalid were actually hanging out at a friend's house, like... It was like his birthday. In March, actually. Yeah, it was in March. It was for his birthday. And it was like six of us. We were just sitting around the table, chatting. There was music playing softly in the back. But like, because the way that they build these buildings, like this is like a sheet of paper.
Oh
like,
my God,
walls
yes.
are sheets of paper.
Yeah.
His white neighbors called the cops on us.
I'm so
And like,
tired.
that's... And I feel like that was just like... I don't know. That shocked the fuck out of me because this is the first time...
It
that
is
was the
shocking.
first time I ever... like experience the effects of gentrification where like
Sure.
white people are calling a noise complaint on me.
And I think that's also another difference in native New Yorkers. I did not realize that people, I don't want to say like the police, but I didn't realize that people call the police very casually or willy-nilly. In my whole life of living, I have never called 911. I'm very grateful that I haven't been, well, I have been in some situations, but I haven't had to call 911. But like, to me, calling 911 for some noise is insane. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, niggas be loud, but like at the end of the day, they don't bother me when I'm playing music loud, so I'm not gonna bother them when they're playing music loud. That's just like my automatic impulse of like, they don't bother me, I don't bother them because I don't want to.
I feel like also there's a difference, like we said, in what community is. And I feel like a lot of other places, I guess, where they're more suburban, they're used to more like isolationism or individualism. So it's like, I feel like if you have a problem with your neighbor, would it not be easy to just knock and be like, hey, can you just turn it down a little bit? I'm studying or something, you know, speaking to people, you know, or like even being upset that somebody has people over, like, I don't know. I feel like New York is very community.
Is it crazy to say that like it's not just white people that are the problem when it comes to gentrification?
I don't think that's crazy. Transplants of any race can be a problem if you're contributing to the like dissemination of New York City. Like, you know what I mean? Like, still, if you're Hispanic and you come to New York and you're complaining about noise, you're calling the police on your neighbors, you are equally the problem as the white people who do it too.
The first time I kind of saw the discourse happen online, in a very unproductive way, by the way. Not to say that I'm constantly holding productive conversations. Sometimes you need to be unproductive, like, just because. It was when the Tompkins block party happened. And basically, it was, like, the big block party that, like, kind of blew up in Bed-Stuy. Okay. It started off as, like, I think it was, the effort was to really highlight, like, black businesses. To, like, keep Bed-Stuy black. And then through social media and, like, influencers going to this, it blew up. And so you had people who were flying in from DC to go to this block party. But as you can imagine, the whole purpose of a block party is like community. And like people who live around the block. People who
That's
live
really interesting
in walking distance of the block to come and support the businesses of the community that they live in. And it was really interesting to see how black transplants responded to the conversation.
How am I supposed to do that? Like, should I just tell myself?
Yeah, basically the Tompkins block party got shut down because the police didn't like the fact that like people were hanging out after the block party ended. People were just like, y'all ruin everything. Like, why are black transplants here? And I actually have recently been seeing a lot of like black native, not black, but like native New Yorkers make TikToks like, I kind of don't like black transplants. Like, I don't really fuck with them. Like,
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's such a hairy topic because you can't stop people from moving. You know, as much as like online, people be like, don't come here, the traffic's bad enough. People are going to move where they want to move. And New York is promoted as the coolest city to live in. Of course, anybody over the age of 18 is like, you know, I want to have my New York summer. You can't stop people from moving. And, you know, as a native person, I guess until it's like personally affecting you, I feel like you have to do your best, like community wise, to like, I don't want to say change them or like get them to understand what it means to be a New
it was like, how can you stop something that's already happening and like is gonna continue to happen?
Yeah.
And I don't really think that's what like native New Yorkers really are asking about. I guess when we do talk about gentrification, I think there's this thing that a lot of people miss, that it's not a race thing.
It's a class thing, yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? And if like a lot of rich Black people are great, like you want to move to New York City, you coming and, you know, chances are you want to move to some place where people look like you, which
Sure.
makes sense. Well, a lot of people would probably move to like Brooklyn or Bed-Stuy specifically. But I think the problem lies when like you're not actually like interested in integrating yourself into the community.
Why move to the hood if you don't want to be in the hood? Why move to New York if you don't like immigrants? You know, but that's one thing I will say about New York. It teaches you lessons whether you're from here or not. And I feel like you either get with the program in New York or you leave. You know what I mean? Not everybody is able to withstand a place like this. Some people, it's very overstimulating. It's too much, and they always end up leaving. So I feel like for a lot of these people, New York will show them what it means to be a New Yorker, or they'll just leave.
What I can say confidently, like I feel like a lot of people seek out New York who actually shouldn't come here. As glamorized as New York City is, it's a really tough place to live.
Yeah,
you know
especially if you're not from somewhere that's like this. Like,
yeah, and it's like I do think to a certain extent it takes a lot of grit. Like, and you just kind of like, I think growing up here, it's just kind of normalized. What's great about living in a city that's so dense is the types of people you can meet, right?
Sure.
So that means the dark side of that, of like you're gonna be around different types of people, different types of views, different types of culture, different types of living styles, and you need to adapt to that. And that
100%.
That's personally what I think it means to like live in New York. Just
for
like
sure.
taking,
And I think a lot of these people aren't very adaptable, or they have like a certain control of community where they're from. Like, you know, I guess like, you know, people who like lived in a cul-de-sac, like, you know, every neighbor, you know where they're going, you know what they're doing, you know their car and things like that. And some place like New York where you need to mind your business is very hard for people to adjust to. So
now I kind of love to get into this like more like New York City influencing idea, I would like to call it, and like what your experience is as someone who's actually from here in a market very much dominated by not New York City natives.
Sure. Well, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Flatbush, Brooklyn, and you know, everybody that I knew growing up was Black, Hispanic, Caribbean, you know, just different types of people. I didn't know many white people. And, you know, over the years, as New York gets more gentrified, Brooklyn specifically, and, you know, I am a creator on the online space, and I start to see this category of New York City influencers becoming its own, like, subculture of being a New Yorker, where it's like, the experience is almost like New York City influencers, but in parentheses, transplants experiencing New York for the first time. Like, that's really what it is. So, like, I wouldn't call myself a New York City influencer, but I am. I'm from New York, you know what I mean? But I think it's interesting. I don't mind people experiencing New York. I'm not mad at people, like, moving. I am just bothered by, I feel like, when it comes to the conversation of gentrification online, especially, we focus too much on the individual, on the people, when it's really a corporation. It's a business aspect that's really damaging to Brooklyn. Like the pizza shop that I spoke about that was there for like 15 years. The reason why that pizza shop went out of business was because some mega million billionaire bought the entire block and kicked out every single shop that was there. That to me is far more damaging than somebody from Oklahoma complaining about noise, you know? So for me, I think the New York City influencers, I'm happy that they're getting their Carrie Bradshaw, Sex in the City view, but I think maybe it's
not really about them.
Yeah, but I think maybe they overstep when it comes to aspects of New York that they don't know about, when they speak about certain neighborhoods being dirty or I gotta hold my bag like, you know, like
don't wear this on the train.
I don't know. Like, it's just like a little strange. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're like criminalizing and like judging people off of what you think is like dangerous or something. But yeah,
that's actually a really good point, though. Like, it is like there is a over representation or focus when it does comes to the like this gentrification conversation on like the people who are like moving into these buildings because that's the place, like those
Yeah.
are the places to live, and it's not enough on like, I guess, like capitalism, I guess, like
Starbucks. Once Starbucks gets in that neighborhood, kiss it goodbye. Kiss it goodbye. Whole Foods, hi.
no, it is, and it's like that. It's so crazy because like it's so well known how that is a marker of like, oh, your neighborhood's changing. Starbucks is here.
And it's so weird because it's like, it's not like you don't want to have access to a Starbucks or anything.
I mean,
like,
I don't. But
well, yes, but like I just mean that representation of like, you know, the Trader Joe's and the different things. It's not that we're saying, oh, New Yorkers shouldn't have those things. It's just that corporation a lot of times brings a certain demographic, and so you understand once this is here, there's a cultural shift going on around you. I love Mike's Pizza. I'm a very picky eater, so I don't like cheese, and I don't like tomato sauce, but I like pizza, but I'm very picky about it because I don't like those things. And Mike's Pizza, to me, I went there all throughout high school, college. It was literally right around the corner from where I lived, and when I went in that last day, like they know me so well, they watched me grow up. The guy that was there, he was like, our last day is Wednesday. And I thought I was hearing things. I was like, what? And I was so devastated. I don't know. I feel like everybody has like one restaurant or something that they just like hold near. I put so many people onto Mike's Pizza. I love this so much. So when he told me they was closing, I'm like, why? And I knew it wasn't for lack of business. They always have people in there. And he basically explained to me that the whole block was bought out and they have until that date to get out. And I left, and you know, as a social media person, after a while when you do it for a long time, sometimes it could be really strategic and really like, you know, analytical and less fun like it used to be, like when you just make fun little videos with your friends. But sometimes I try to remind myself to just talk about whatever I care about or whatever it is. And I just picked up my phone because I was hurt and I was like, y'all, please come to Mike's Pizza. Like, I just don't even understand. I really was not expecting that kind of response, but so many people came out. My friend Keith Lee came out. I was like, all right, girl, now we taking this somewhere. And so many people came out to support, and it was so nice because Mike himself, him and his family, they thanked me so much. They were able to get so much business, which even though they weren't able to save the actual storefront, it was able to help them pay some bills and be able to get to somewhere else, which is also talking about gentrification because he actually just recently moved to another shop in Rochester. That's where a lot of native New Yorkers are getting pushed out to, like upstate or Jersey or, you know, those places. So yeah, for me, I really wasn't expecting that response, but I feel like that type of thing happens when you're genuine and you care about your community and different things like that. So I was really happy to like help him in any way.
back in the day, I feel like the people that were coming to New York were people who were looking to, you know, pursue their acting career,
Live an unconventional life.
Yeah, like it was like for the artists and the hopefuls, and like poor people could move to New York and like figure it out and like work the different jobs and like they can make their dreams come true.
Hustle, yeah.
Yeah, and this is not to say like influencers don't have talent, because I think influencing is really hard and like it is a career. It's a very like legitimate career. Like I think artists and hopefuls, when they came to the city, they like contributed to the culture with their talents and stuff like that. But you'll see now a lot of people who are moving to New York to be an influencer, like to kind of like fit this archetype of like going to get the matcha,
the Pilates,
and like live this life in this white apartment with the stainless steel and everything. And I feel like, personally, I feel like that's definitely impacted, I think, the culture a lot. And so I would love to kind of get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think influencing as a job itself, I think it is a job that you have to keep mentally challenging yourself, because when you work a more traditional job, you're forced to see people every day, interact, face certain fears, certain challenges. You're being stimulated constantly. And then if you become an influencer and let's say you become an influencer through being relatable, you end up making enough money that now you don't need this relatable job. Cool. Then your whole life just becomes about yourself. And it's very hard. You have to do active work to not be self-absorbed, to be narcissistic, you know, to still understand that there is more than your phone and this community online. I think that for sure you know, I think that New York has always been like a hustle place. Like, you know, people always talk about, oh, I go to New York, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna make it, because that's how New York is. If you come here and you don't got a plan, girl, you're gonna be homeless. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, you have to work, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of the influencers or the wannabe influencers who come here, I feel like maybe they don't feel that same drive in New York, because influencing is something you could do the same thing for years and, you know, not have to change, not have to challenge yourself, not have to do anything.
The beauty of New York is a dynamism, like how dynamic the culture is. But I feel like ever since kind of like we've seen this wave, especially post-pandemic, of a lot of people moving here to become like influencers, and you have the creation of this like character, like of the West Village girl, whatever that is. It seems that like monoculture is kind of on the rise. It's homogenizing like what New York is,
yes,
like, which is what I think is.
I understand that.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, I feel like New York is trending towards Dubai, where like everything is very like it's one thing, like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say it, but it's like Dubai is Dubai.
No,
like,
I understand what you're saying. Like the French tips and the certain Brooklyn Coach bag, and like it's very specific. And I think what just like refreshed me on that is like, I don't know if you've seen that like trend that was going around for a little bit of like women who were like things that are incredibly unchic, and it was just like real normal stuff, like a tattoo, like, you know what I mean. I feel like, I mean, but that's also a reflection of the rise of conservatism in America that is scaring me to my bones. But yeah, no, for sure, I think that people forget that New York is about creativity, it's about standing out, it's about wearing whatever you want, doing, you know, just self-expression is the key to New York. There's no way to be weird here, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I also like, just to build off that point of conservatism, I feel like monoculture is a symptom of conservatism.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like in the past, hopefuls that did come here, artists who did come here, like New York, I think, shaped them or had an impact on them. But now, because of the power of social media and the power of TikTok, it feels like the reverse. It feels like they're kind of impacting the culture and like defining New York now, which is the shift that I feel is a little bit dangerous.
I think it's also probably because they don't have the experience of having to work up. So like in New York, everybody's kind of a nobody until you like know that one friend that knows everybody, that knows every bouncer, that knows every club, that knows every, you know, way to get in. And I feel like a lot of these people who maybe move here and they already have a platform, they already have money, they already have connections, they don't have to be a waitress on the side. You know what I mean? They don't have to like, again, challenge themselves.
I don't want to say I have resentment for transplants.
Okay.
I don't want to say
I do. No. Again, mine is more corporation-wise.
Yeah, like, I don't want to say I have a resentment for transplants because, like, it is what it is. Like, this is New York City.
People are gonna move.
Yeah, like, it's a city to be. Like, we are at the center of the world. Like, I just, like, I get it. I get why. I'm just thinking about all of these like American movies or whatever, like how New York is depicted. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes like as someone who grew up, you know, my parents used to give me $5 and I used to go out into the world with a dream.
Rich.
And just like really just make that $5 work. Like I used to get on like $2 going, $2 coming back, and I'd buy a dollar slice. And, like, we would kiki in Central Park because, you know, it's a free space. And I would come back and, like, that was my new... And I loved it.
I don't mind people moving. I don't think other New Yorkers really mind people moving. It's just, obviously, the change to the community. I think that there should be some sort of safeguard for native New Yorkers in our city. Like, you know, in terms of more rent stabilization and maybe native New Yorker assigned buildings or something, like things that would at least safeguard so that all of these families who have been here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years don't have to leave their home. You know, I think that's really community. My main thing.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, even though I've been able to transcend classes, I've been able to go to good universities, get a good job, I make 6 figures because that's like the baseline for like, I guess, wealth or whatever. It's still hard for me to live in New York. Like I still
and that's the part that irritates me. Me and my boyfriend, we laugh all the time. If we had this money in 2008, we would be banking right now. And that's what's so jarring to me, that I am in a position where I have a lot more money. I live very comfortably. Why do I still find this extremely expensive? And what about the people who I left in Brooklyn that, you know, haven't made so much money that it's like, if I'm saying this is unaffordable, this is great. That's kind of like when Cuomo was like, isn't the average rent $8,000? What are you talking about? Like, I'm scared.
And I'm so glad that you brought up the point of corporations, because I do feel, and this is why I was like, I don't know if I have resentment towards transplants, because I do think you bring up a good point of like, it's not really about, like, people have to move. We can't control how people move. It's about these big ass corporations that are buying up these blocks, that are pushing these small businesses out, that are like it's that is,
and the landlords.
Yeah, and the landlords, like, those are the people that you need to be up in arms about. Like, we don't need to really be fighting each other. So like, I mean, I think for me, like, the way the city has kind of been like this, like, now where I feel like it is, and I don't know if it's because like I have more money, so it just feels like you have to pay to play.
Hi.
And like, as someone,
you leave the house, you spend $150.
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand.
And like, to me, that's just so jarring, because I'm
Yes.
a kid that used to leave the house with $10 and a dream.
And the thing is, as much as like the media depicts it as like, oh my God, New York is so expensive. Oh my God. That genuinely really wasn't my experience growing up. There were a lot of free things. There were block parties. There was like, they would like shut down the whole block and like have like green grocers. Like, things weren't, also I was a child, but things weren't every single thing cost a bunch of money. Like, there's a lot less focus again on community and community-based things.
Yeah, the lack of third spaces, I feel as I've grown up, I felt it like even more. And going to NYU, it was kind of like a little bit of a buffer, because, you know, like, I was on a full ride there, and if, you know what I mean, I had my campus. Graduating from college, that has been, I think, the most jarring parts of the city changing, for me at least. We used to be able to like stand out in the subway, like, all the, like, as long as
is like
we wanted.
literally not a crime. Standing, that's dumb. You know what I mean? It's like, what people are out, or at least they used to. I feel like a lot of kids, like when I used to be a kid, I'd be like, Mom, can I go downstairs? I would go downstairs. And I would just meet other kids on the block. Like,
yeah.
I don't see a lot of kids, like, play as much. You know what I mean?
I mean, I just think about, like, how on our block, because we lived on a dead end, like...
Oh, the dead ends were the coolest.
Yeah, every day, we would be out with our scooters, playing with the other kids on the block, going up and down, doing whatever. And it's just, like, I don't see any of the kids on my block do that anymore. Now, zooming out, right? Like... The part of this conversation I kind of want us to get into now is because, like, obviously I'm saying all these things. We're talking about the transplants, New York City floors, la la la. And I'm chatting all this shit, but, like, I myself am a gentrifier. Like,
okay,
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, like, I live in a gentrification building.
I think, though, it's specific. I think you're considered a gentrifier if you're in a neighborhood that is significantly lower than your wealth class. Like, if you make $100,000 a year, you shouldn't be in a neighborhood where you're in like some crazy building and the average household income is like 30,000 or something like that. I think that's a gentrifier.
After I did my 4 years at NYU, like, I lived in Murray Hill. Like,
okay. Oh my God, I used to work over there. I used to work in Sugar and Bronze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a tanner. It was fun. I applied because I thought it would be funny because I'm black. I don't know. And I worked there. It was good. I was there for 2 years. I know how to tan. I trained other girls how to tan. She's a tanner. Yeah.
Oh, it's actually funny. My little sister was talking about how she wants to, like...
Oh my God. No, I used to do black girls who did pageants. Like, it's really good for giving you a glow and like evening your skin tone. I still work for Sugar and Bronze.
If you see me there.
Period. My sister works there, so let me know. I'll tell her, yeah.
No, I will go. I get really pale. Like,
Okay.
Light skin problems. The thing that I'm always tasked with is, like, if I have a problem with, like, people moving into these neighborhoods and doing this, but yet I'm doing this because, like, I'm not moving to the Upper East Side. Like, after I did my 4-year stint in Manhattan, I was like, thank you, bye, Work Island. Like, never coming back. Like, and I went back to where my people are. And I love living in Brooklyn. That's where all my friends are all within a 10-minute walking distance of me. And, like, all of the parties are right here. My Ubers are much cheaper. I used to have to pay, like, an $80 Uber from, like, going out in Bed-Stuy to back to, like, Queens. And so a huge part of me moving to Brooklyn was, like, I just think it would be more economical for me because I spend so much time here. Yes, I make a lot of money. The idea of spending more than 50% of what I make monthly
sure.
on an apartment in I don't know, FIDI or whatever,
Yeah.
is just absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine paying that much for rent in New York. And I don't know if it's also the immigrant in me, but like, my parents were very much so, you need to own. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, this is not our land. Like, we need to buy, we need to own, to establish ourselves here. And so I always saw renting as this temporary thing of like, you don't want to you don't want to put all of your money in it.
Sure.
So like this idea, at least now for me, is like, oh, you're actually paying for this lifestyle, like this standard of living. Like it's kind of brand new to me. Like honestly, now that I'm starting, like in terms of like moving into these like luxury buildings, so they're selling you a lifestyle essentially. They're not. It's not. The way renting was framed to me growing up is just so different from like how I see it now.
Yeah, for sure.
How do people like us combat gentrification? Like, how do we? And the answer can honestly be like, there's nothing really we can do.
You know, and that's a good question. I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't move. So my parents still live exactly where we've always lived for the past 30 years. They still live there. I wouldn't move back into that neighborhood just for my own like peace of mind and safety, and like, you know, people knowing who I am and stuff like that. I would move within Brooklyn. I would probably go to a wealthier neighborhood. I would never live in Manhattan. But I think again, part of gentrification is what I explained. Like if you're in a higher tax bracket than the neighborhood that you're moving in. And I think additionally, the rejection of social norms and community and like calling the police and things like that. I don't think there's anything you could do, because who's going to pass up a deal? You know what I mean? Like if there's a building, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, stainless steel, nice stuff, and you finally have the money to afford it, is it wrong for a native New Yorker to move into one of those buildings? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like a moral question, and I don't know the answer, but I feel like I can blame the government somehow. I feel like they're to blame.
That's
somehow.
the right answer. Always.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, always. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, at least for me, it's been kind of, because I feel like for the longest I kind of skirted around saying like I'm a part of the problem, but it kind of feels a little freeing now to be like, yeah, I guess I am a part of the problem, and like obviously I want to make it better. Like gentrification is bad. I hate the idea of displacing people. I want my neighborhood to be good. My family kind of lives in a food desert. Like you know what I mean? I wish there was a Trader Joe's that was a block from our house. Like there's so many things that I wish would be different. And I always kind of feel powerless in New York. Recently, at least for me, and I would love to kind of get your take on this, one beacon of hope for me has been Zoran.
Love him.
Like,
I convinced my whole family.
no, same.
My mom, you know, native New Yorkers, they be all for Cuomo, please. But
It's a sickness.
no, it actually is. But like, no, I converted them. I was like, guys, no, this guy is good. Don't look at Cuomo, not right now or that. No, but I'm really hopeful for Zoran. And it's also nice because you could tell he's a native New Yorker. Like, you could tell that he knows what it means. Like, it's really heartwarming.
And like, I think for me too, I have never in my life, and this is definitely a flaw, I've never been moved
Politically?
Yeah, to do anything politically. Like, I canvas for Zoran. Like,
And that's real. That's the result of a politician that actually knows his constituents. Like, that's like, he actually cares, so he can speak to you to make you move. You know what I mean?
And I feel like he's been able to mobilize a lot of people. Like
100%.
So my friend lives in the South Bronx, and I was at their house. White women
They love
from
Zoran.
Bushwick were canvassing in the Bronx
Yes.
for Zoran.
Good.
I was like, wow. I literally was like, where are you from? Where did you come from? What are you doing here? And they were like, we're here to like canvass for Zoran. I was like, I'm already voting for him, but like, what are you doing here? And that's when I realized, I was like, this man is going to change the world. Like,
And I hope he. It's only so annoying that he can't run for president because he wasn't born in America, I think, right? Oh wow, yeah. So he can't run for president, which is like, irking. But
no, it is. But like, wow. Like, I just was like, you got white women in Brooklyn
no, but
to
also,
come to the Bronx.
Your point about like what to do, I think when you're somebody who is, you know, from, I don't know, maybe a different social class, like maybe you started off lower income or different things like that, you're able to transcend classes. I think one of the most important things to do that I feel like communities in Brooklyn always preach is giving back. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the most my family gave back was when we had the least. You know what I mean? And so for me, I feel like that's why it's also so disturbing to me, billionaires and these people who just hoard this money. It makes no sense. You will never be able to spend all of it in your life. And it's like, I feel like when you're able to be in a position where you can change your life, you have to change other people's lives. You have to, you know, donate, food drives. It's just, that's why it's also just, I don't know why people are so greedy. Like, even, influencers who, like, you know, we get a lot of PR. I have never once charged people money to give them the PR. Like, there are a lot of influencers who they'll be, oh yeah, $20 this mystery box. You want to get this out of your apartment because you're hoarding all this stuff. You don't have no space. And you want to charge your followers who make significantly less than you to get your half-used, dusty makeup products. It makes no sense to me that people are so greedy. But I think it also comes with when you aren't raised around community, when you've never experienced poverty, when you don't understand what it means to, like, share.
Growing up in the Guinean community, someone can die. You can have someone in the hospital. Like, people
Making food for you.
Yeah, you just think about, like, this is a community of, like, you know, service workers who will come and like put their $20 down. Yep. Even if they only have $50 in their bank account. Like, but to them, showing up in community is it just means that much more. And and I agree. Like, I think it's so, at least being from New York, one thing that I feel like will always be in me is the power of community, the essence of community. I feel like I would be nowhere without it. You know what I mean? I just think about the people who pick me up from school. I think about the people who help my mom out. I think about, you know, aunties who I ate at their house, like, after school. And, like, you know what I mean? It's all of those things. It's like that has contributed to who I am today, right? It's kind of giving Mayor 2029. Like, are you running?
No. Similar to you, I feel like young people have, like, periods in their lives where they're politically charged. And as I get older, frontal lobe develops and things like that. And you really start to see the effects of your representatives, and you really start to get angry that there is a 76-year-old who's dictating the future of people he's never met, he's never experienced, and things like that. So for me, for peace of mind, I don't want to be in government. I wouldn't want to be a political figure. And, you know, also the public is very unforgiving. So I don't know. I just try to do my best with my platform. I try to inform people, and especially because people can relate to me because of, you know, where I'm from, my accent, and things like that. I like to explain things to people, even, like, just
in a
more
way that's accessible.
Yeah,
no, I love your political take, but someone tried to come for you, I think, because of the way that you said something, and it's so elitist and nasty, and, like, I actually do think, and I was talking to Khalib about this, even in the creation of this podcast, I think, and to be actually, like, very smart is to be able to reach your audience. Yes. Is to be able to communicate in a language that people can understand you. 100%. You speaking in these big ass words like that,
it doesn't make you a better person.
Like, chill the fuck out. Yeah. But I think that's what I've appreciated. Even, like, Miss Cardi B. When she talks about politics, I love it because
a great example of that. You know what I mean?
And people love to dismiss her and say that she has no right in this conversation because she doesn't have the language.
It's classist, it's elite, and honestly, it happens a lot to, like, native New Yorkers. Like, I feel like a lot of me and my other New York friends who are also, like, public figures or influencers, your accent is like people treat you like you're dumb. Like, when it's just like, this is just a New York accent. Like, that's just how people speak. And for me, you know, I was blessed enough to go to college, graduate. I was a very, very good writer, which is why I'm able to communicate so well. But I don't negate the intelligence of someone else who maybe aren't so good with their words. You know what I mean? They still have a message. They still have things that they want to get across. Yeah. And so, yes, that experience was really annoying because if you have a platform, it's amazing if you're able to use it to mobilize, to inform, and things like that. And for people to try to, like, dumb you down to, oh, you're just an influencer, you're just a singer. We don't want to hear about that. It's like, do you want change or not? You know what I mean?
It's like, and they can't decide whether or not they want you to be a geopolitical commentator or not. It's like, actually, this is not what we want from you, but it's like, this happened and why aren't you speaking on this? I do, before we go, I want to touch on the fact, because you mentioned it, you are a singer-songwriter.
Yes, I am.
Your music is amazing.
Oh my God, thank you.
And I would love to know if you have any upcoming projects or like anything you can share with us.
So I have been in the studio with some cool people making some cool things. I am aiming for another project before the end of the year. I'm going on my first tour this year. I'll announce that soon. So I'm very excited for people to hear my new stuff.
I'm excited for you. Well, definitely let us know because we want to support.
Everywhere. Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube,
Period.
Deezer. Like, it's everywhere, to be honest.
Well, Anayka,
This was great.
thank you so much for coming from all the way from the white people's Atlanta. we really appreciate it. This has been such a great conversation. Like I said, I don't think we solved anything with this conversation.
Sure,
you know,
but we talked.
We talked,
And that's
all
important.
that matters. It's just
Yes.
about discourse. You don't have to agree. Where can we find you?
You can find me anywhere. My name is Anayka She, ANAYKASHE. It's that on everything.
You know where you can find us at On Our Terms Pod, and my handle, Tomsy. Yes, it's my name backward. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.